Released in 2019, the 68.4-inch wide Honda Talon 1000R was built to perform in wide open spaces. However, with a modest 104 horsepower, its power output and low to mid-range focused power band provides middle-of-the-road performance in the 1-liter naturally aspirated segment, trailing far behind the turbocharged 1-liter and naturally aspirated 2-liter cars currently dominating the sports side-by-side market. Offering good handling, the suspension and ride quality are compromised a bit by the car's smaller stock tires over small bumps. In deep whoops, the Talon R's rear shocks have a tendency to kick and deflect a bit more than we'd like. With a number of years of Talon experience under his belt, CT Racing's Alan Knowles decided it was time to breathe some fire into his Talon R, making sure it had the suspension and chassis to keep up.
Hey, I'm Alan Knowles from CT Racing, out here for UTV On Demand. I'm bringing you this Jackson Turbo Honda Talon. It's a build we've done. We've had it probably for 6 months or so, testing it and running it and having a good time with it. With the Jackson Turbo, what it brought the car was just an average car, and where it really suffered was at high altitude. We do a lot of high altitude driving, and we'd be up in the Sierras and you about want to get out and push. It just needed that boost at altitude. So talked to the guys at Jackson Turbo. They got us in with this thing. It's a good kit. It's something that we installed at the shop. It's not a big deal to install it. You know, it's got really good instructions with it. So if you're mechanically inclined, you can do it. You can pay a shop to do it, but it's obviously a little bit of work, but it's just not that tough. It's just follow the directions and glue the thing together. So that's what we did. It runs, it's pretty competitive with like a XP Turbo or, you know, something like that. It's not gonna run down the Maverick R or the Pro R, but anything else is pretty competitive with.
The stock Talon's 104 horsepower at the crank translates to about 85 horsepower at the rear wheels. The Jackson Turbo boosts rear wheel horsepower to around 120.
It's a really good destination car. I don't know that it's, you know, all the power guys at the sand dunes want, you know, more power and more than you can get out of them. So it's probably not the best build for that, but if you have one and you want to throw a turbo on it, then it's a good way to go. I like the transmission on it. It works well, shifts well. I don't even shift it much myself. I mostly let it take care of itself, and I downshift it when I hit a corner hard and be in the right RPM, but transmission does well with the turbo. So it's just a really good setup. Some of the other stuff we have in the car that makes it a nice car, we've got ATC, which is all-terrain concept lights on it. We've got their big light bar. The fronts are 4 separate lights, and I like having the lights separated on the front because the bottom ones are down and out a little bit. These lights will light up the world when you're going that way. Problem is you're gonna go off a dune or off something, the light's going that way and you're going that way, you can't see if there's a refrigerator in the trail. These things light that up. So I do like having lights up front like that. So ATC does a great job. They're quality lights. They're not the junk you get on eBay. They're just way different. We run an amber rear. I really like an amber rear. And all my friends that, you know, ride with this like it because one, they know they can tell it's me they're following, and then 2, it just cuts through the dust. You know, if it gets dusty, which I never go in the dust because I lead. If it gets dusty, it just pierces right through that, and they can see and they know to slow down before they pile into you. So I do like seeing an amber rear on cars, and these guys make, you know, great lights. So the quality is outstanding. So you can look up online, all-terrain concepts. They've got a lot of different lights, and it'll give you a good selection. It's going to cost a little more than the eBay crap, but it's way better and it's worth it. Suspension. The electronic shocks I've never gotten along with very well. And I don't, the main thing the electronic shocks do is they try to keep the car flat, which, you know, makes your co-driver, maybe makes you feel better. The car stays flat in the corners. That I don't like. I want some body roll. So the car takes a set, I can get drive off the outside tire and get up off the corner. So I went to George White at Double E Suspension, and he's a Honda expert. He's been in this industry for a long time, and he valved them up for me, did some different pistons for this car, and he really did good. We went out and tested it, did a suspension test, and we made a little bit of change. I mean, it just wasn't perfect the first time, but you know, we have the thing dialed now. It really handles well, and so he's got a good setup now. So if you've got a Honda, he does the Can-Ams. He's done all of them. The Miller brothers, he did their Can-Ams, so he certainly knows his way around side-by-sides and race stuff. So Double E is a good way to go. Look them up. Tires, I got GBC Masters on them. These are 33s. We got metal FX wheels on them. I run beadlocks. These metal FXs are beadlocks. They're a good looking wheel, I think. They're reasonably priced. I've got 5. I carry a spare. I always carry a spare. So that's the setup, and I really like the TerraMaster tires. They're good in all the terrain that I go through, all the West Coast stuff anyways. They actually, because the sidewalls are a little bit soft, they hook up really well in the sand, where a lot of tires with the hard sidewalls just dig in the sand. These things go amazingly well in the sand, and I pretty much don't run paddles. I just run these things. So there's that, and I run beadlocks because if you get a flat, you can just keep going. If you don't have a spare, and you get a flat and the thing comes off the bead, you're done. You're just gonna go around in circles. You can't drive the car. So beadlocks keep it, you can run the thing. I've gone 50 miles on a flat when I didn't have a spare, and it knocked holes in the tires, but I hauled ass the whole time. I mean, I just ripped it. And with the beadlocks holding it tight, it makes a big difference. It'll get you home, and that's important. The roll cage is by Long Travel Industries out of Anaheim, California. Brian's down there, and he builds a nice cage. You can look this one over. I really like the way he did the spare tire. It sets down in there. It's a race setup, and I'm not racing, but I like the setup. I like the way he does them, and he builds nice cages. So if you're looking for a cage, give Brian down there a shout and try his stuff. Got a UTV, factory UTV skid plate on this thing. Factory UTV makes awesome skid plates. This thing's about, I don't know, ½ inch thick. And you know, the factory ones, you run over a rock and you come back down the trail and you see pieces of your skid plate all the way down there. I've never done any more than scuff this thing. And this is the second Talon I've had it on. I switched stuff over and it wasn't even dinged. So just an excellent piece. They laser cut their holes. Everything fits nice. They just bolt right up like a factory one. And it's a nice part. You can see the way they come up around the edges and protect the side of the car, and that's nice. So factory UTV, they're the best company out there doing these things. I've got an S&B like I usually have on my cars, only this time it's for me and not the car. The S&B particle separator that's for the motor wouldn't fit. It doesn't work with the Jackson turbo filter system. So we just have to run Jackson Turbo's air filter system and change that out, clean it. But the S&B helmet separator is really nice. It's one of the best clean air deals. We really like this thing. So it's just nice to have, you know, clean air, breathing it instead of the dust and stuff. It's amazing the quality of the ride you have when you're breathing clean air all day and you come home and you're clean too. So it's a nice part. It just bolts on between the seats, and you can bolt it down below. It doesn't really matter. And just as long as you can get your cords hooked to your helmet and to it, you're good to go. We've got a rugged radio in this thing. I don't even like people going with me that don't have a radio. It's so nice to have car to car so you can talk. They don't have to follow in your dust. They can be back a ½ mile if need be, and you know where everybody is. We've ended up losing so much time. Somebody doesn't have a radio and they get off the trail and you're scouting for them, and that sucks. Having the radio makes a big difference, and your day goes fast, and you keep your separation, and we do the deal, we call out a stop turn. So if I'm leading and I'm gonna make a left where somebody wouldn't, if it's a Y, you say right at the Y or left the T or whatever, you just call out that. And of course we call out bogeys, you know, cars coming the other direction. But the nice thing is to keep the group moving is, you know, there's some turn I'm gonna huck and take off and everybody blow by it. Well, I yell out and I call out a stop turn. So I stop, I wait till I see the car, he goes, gotcha, and he takes off and he comes in and he stops and waits for the next guy, and you just go like that. So you keep your separation, you keep the group going and keep it together. It really makes your day go a lot better. And then the intercom system. It has a 696 Plus intercom system. You know, my wife and I spend a lot of time in these things, and we talk, and she navigates, and you know, we're always covering stuff, talking about stuff. And you know, we had to go out with a new car with no radio, and we can't talk, and it kind of sucks. You know, she's like, "Oh, it was horrible." The intercom system makes a big difference. So, you know, if you get the radio, get the intercom. If you got a 4-door, you got kids in the back, you can, you know, get the 4-door unit and plug them in. They can hear what's going on. The push to talk buttons. They give you a couple of them. Mine, I got one on the steering wheel. You can have one on your co-drivers, you know, the bar that they hang on to bar, or they can put in the dash, but you just mount it where you want. The intercom system, you just talk. It's voice activated, so you just talk. Now the radio, to call the other cars, you got to push the button. So that's how that works. And my wife can, you know, communicate with the other cars and stuff like that when I'm busy. And it does make a big difference in your day if everybody's got radios. So Rugged Radio sells a nice package, so call those guys up and get one organized. Overall, this has been an excellent car. I like it a lot. I like the width of the Honda. You know, I've got the Polaris and the Can-Ams have gotten so wide, and I don't need it. I drive them, I'm fine with it, but this thing's 68 and those things are 77. You just don't need it. This is plenty stable. I didn't have a problem with the standard 64-inch cars, but this is kind of the magic number for me. It's wide enough and yet it's narrow enough to get through stuff. We found when we go places, we can carry so much more speed when the car's just that few inches narrower. You don't have to, the car's gonna fit when it's a wide car, but you gotta slow way down to make sure you fit through so you don't tear the tires up. So this is really I think it's the magic number for a car. And this is a small car compared to the big cars. And I think there's a lot to be said for that. It's also got, you know, the Japanese fit and finish. So it's been a nice car, and it's my second one, and we run the crud out of it, so it's a good car. Anyhow, that's all I got for you. Alan Knowles from UTV On Demand, out.